All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another level 10 links video. We have another one around, this time the EZA AGL meta cooler. Of course, same as last time, no extra dupes, 2 dupes, which is more than enough, but not quite rainbowed. Level 10 links, full maxed out links, 200% lead on the LR meta cooler's 200% lead. I'm looking forward to this because when we tried him on the 200% lead for the first time without level 10 links, he was amazing. So I am really looking forward to this. We actually have a really good starting rotation as well. We have the LR meta, not LR meta cooler, we have the LR final form cooler and the transforming cooler. I mean, I'm very tempted to do this because this is viable in red zone. With the fact he stacks and then this guy's defense is actually pretty good once he's fully built up, that's actually viable. And he actually links pretty well. I mean, the best amount of links you're going to get active at all times is 4 links, which he shares with a lot of the good kind of wicked bloodline units. Final form cooler, the EZA transforming cooler, and don't forget, prior to transforming, stacking and it has the support of the attack and defense plus 50%, which is even better. LR full power freezer. So these are probably the main guys you're going to be running him with if you are on main rotation, or if he is on main rotation. But I think just to keep it a little bit more realistic, I will keep him on rotation with just him. But I mean, without even fully building up his passive, which of course he does need to be hit 5 times to get the additional attack and defense plus 20% up to 100%. So this is him at his weakest. With the support, he already has 243k defense. Now, of course, he doesn't raise defense on super, so that's literally just going to stay there. But starting with almost 250k defense, and again, this support is viable in red zone because of how good this guy is. Again, you can keep him untransformed, keep him stacking, keep the support going as well. But to have that turn 1 is pretty crazy. Even without it, I mean, you're still looking at almost 200k defense before he's even started building up his passive. But he is going to be hit, what, 2, maybe 3 times? I think it's 2 times before he supers. So he will stack up twice in his passive, which means we're almost halfway there to building him up. And we're being supered. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. 98 damage, nothing. So two attacks and support, 5.2 mil already. Yeah, and there's the 4.3 mil kit. Of course, we're facing a superclass enemy who's also a pure Saiyan, so we're getting the extra key plus 1 for it being a superclass enemy, crit plus 20% chance, and then the extra key plus 1, and another 20% chance to crit, because he's a pure Saiyan. So we're going to see a lot of inflated chances to crit, which obviously in red zone, you're not really going to see too often, of course, unless you get really lucky when it comes to the dupe system. Unless, of course, you are facing Broly, which, I mean, you probably wouldn't take him into Broly unless you got quite lucky for him to avoid any super attacks along the way, or especially during the final phase. Because obviously Broly does a hell of a lot of damage on super, but you know, if you were to face Broly and he managed to avoid some super attacks, he could actually be dealing a decent amount of damage. You wouldn't get the 20% chance to crit because he's a superclass enemy, but you would have an extra 20% chance to crit and key plus 1 because he's a pure Saiyan. And then if you add dupes, you could potentially additional raise your attack again by 30%, because of course on super he raises attack by 30% when on super. So you could do that twice, which means he's doing even more damage once he's fully built up. And then you could crit Broly twice, which is a decent amount of damage. But then again, as I said, he's not the best unit to handle Broly because he isn't raising his defense at all on super attack. He literally just gets what his passive gives him, and then he's fully built up, and that's his defense. That's where it stays, which I'm not going to lie. If I remember rightly, when we took him on the 200% lead when the yellow meta cooler first dropped, his defense was in the region of 4 to 500k, which start of 10 defense, that is very good. So when he's fully built up, he's tanking a lot of red zone bosses basics for nothing, which is fantastic. However, because he doesn't raise his defense on super or anything like that, super attacks, yeah, unfortunately not the same, but basics and start of turn defense, he is amazing for. So this is a rotation you could actually run in red zone, him and LR meta cooler. I'm sorry, not LR meta cooler, LR final form cooler. You know, but typically when you use this guy, you're probably going to have him floating just because, again, once he's fully built up, he doesn't get any more defense, that's it. And you kind of want to make him avoid and try and hopefully avoid as many super attacks coming his way as possible. Otherwise, he will take a lot of damage. Unless maybe, of course, you have a Whis active and depending on who you're facing. But we've been hit twice, maybe 3 times. I think it's twice. And he's up to 645k attack stat pre-super, and he's already on 438k defense. If this man raised his defense by like just 30% on super, he generally, I mean, it wouldn't be perfect, it wouldn't be ideal, but you're talking in the region of like 7 to 800k defense after he's fully built up. Which is crazy, because this guy doesn't have guard or anything. Like, it literally would be the bare minimum, and his defense would be in such a good spot. But yeah, with what links do we have active? We have first, okay, let's quickly go through what these do. Of course, we have the all-important big bad bosses at level 10, which means we have no HP restriction, so we get that attack and defense plus 25% immediately, which, considering he needs to build up his passive, and you're not always going to have the transforming cooler there next to him. Again, you could have him as a floater, so you'd be getting it every other turn. Either or, to be honest, you could be floating the transforming cooler or a meta cooler. So you know, you'll be getting the support every other turn. That means you're getting the extra 25% attack and defense, which means he's got a little bit extra about him at the beginning of the turn, which means he was able to tank a little bit better. We have strongest clan in space active, which is all enemies minus 10% defense and key +2. It's not a great link, it's just mainly there for key. We've also got Thirst for Conquest, which is giving us attack and defense plus 15%, which is really nice. Again, another extra padding in terms of defense to help him start building up and be able to tank some attacks early on. And then we have Fierce Battle as well, which is attack plus 20%. Now, in terms of the other two links that we won't be getting off here, like, it's just not possible to do Transform, which is key +3 and defense plus 10%. Like, it's literally not possible to get that active on Wicked Bloodline on a 200% lead, just because there's no other Transform or no other unit with 6.7 already. Damn! There's just no other unit on Wicked Bloodline that has the Transform link, so unfortunately that's not a link we can actually get active. But the extra defense would be very nice, but unfortunately, no unit can give it to him here. And then we have Nightmare, who there are not many units on Wicked Bloodline, or I wouldn't say many actually. I wouldn't say there's not many units who are viable for harder content who have that. You know, there's Full Power Freezer. There is also the likes of, actually I can't remember. I think the tech one, the tech transforming EZA one has it. No, actually he doesn't. Does he get it through any of the transformations? He does not. So actually no. So yeah, a link you're not really going to be getting active, you know, the majority of the time in a realistic scenario like Red Zone. Unfortunately, so that means he is missing out on an extra attack plus 15%, which would be nice. But in here, this guy has it. So right now, is he fully built up? Yeah, I'm actually not sure if he's fully built up. I think he may need to take one more attack. But with the attack and defense plus 30% for Terrifying Conqueror's allies from the free-to-play EZA cooler, 790 pre-super, 491 on the defense, which means, yeah, I think he does need to take one more attack, and he's fully built up. We're just shy of 500k defense, and then without Nightmare active, we go down to 722 pre-super. So we lose about almost 70k on attack, which is a bit to miss out. I'm really hoping my LR Final Form cooler doesn't kill Vegeta here and doesn't go crazy with the additional supers. Probably one of the only times I'm ever going to say don't get all the additional 12 keys. Just the basics will do. So I want to see what he's putting out with Nightmare active. Okay, good. Okay, good start. Good start. I mean, you've critted him. That's not bad. Good start. Okay, very good. Nice. Okay, LR Final Form cooler knows the video isn't about him. Thank you so much. So what is he putting out on support and Nightmare? 8.3 million attack stat. And again, on super, he's raising his attack by 30%. If you have dupes in him, you could get an additional, which means he could raise his attack by 30% again, which means the amount of damage he could do, again, especially if you are facing a Pure Saiyan enemy or a Superclass enemy or both of them, and having those 20% chance to crit, he can actually do some serious amounts of damage if he does get an additional off. I mean, he's doing good damage on just the singular super anyway. But yeah, if RNG comes off and he does get an additional, and especially again, if you are facing a Pure Saiyan enemy, or even Superclass and Pure Saiyan enemy, you are doing decent amount of damage, especially if you also have dupes and got some crits in him as well. But yeah, so far he is looking really well, considering we are missing a couple of links, because I mean, one of them is just not possible. And a Nightmare, typically you're not going to have active in a realistic scenario with the units you're going to be taking in harder content. And in the other link we literally aren't getting active as well is Auto Regeneration, which at level 10 gives us 5% HP recovery and 5% damage reduction. To be fair, even if you could get that active realistically, what's 5% damage reduction going to do for you? Not a whole lot. Like, it's really not going to do a whole lot. So I wouldn't really be too concerned with not get that active, but the only links that the only units that are going to get that link active for him are the free-to-play meta cooler units, who obviously you're not going to be taking into red zone. So kind of makes sense. But now we have the this cooler back on rotation. I think I may leave him here now because I think he's fully built up and ready to go. With the attack and defense plus 50%, wait, actually, I think we may. Do we have our defense lowered? Now, we must have had our defense lowered because we only have 438k defense. And of course, Strength Cooler gives way more of a support than free-to-play EZA Cooler. But either way, we are going to end up being fully built up. 7.5. I think we must have got super attacks. We must have had our attack and defense lowered, surely. Surely. I don't think I'm bugging in saying that, because yeah, we had literally just under 500k defense the turn prior. But yeah, the final rotation I want to do is the meta cooler with both supports. I really want to see what that's looking like, just for the fun of it. Because as I've already mentioned, having that permanent attack and defense plus 50% from the EZA transforming cooler, as I said, it's doable, because again, you can keep him untransformed throughout the entirety of a red zone run because he's always stacking defense, and because he's untransformed, you'll always be getting the attack and defense plus 50% from, I always get confused which one's which, but facing one enemy is either Terrifying Conquerors or Transformation Boost. I think it's Terrifying Conquerors, but either way, you have one of those big, 50% attack and defense supports from him if you keep him untransformed, which again a lot of us do because you can continuously stack defense with him, and you only really transform him when you're kind of going for that final blow to get all those additional supers off so he actually kills. So as I said, it is viable. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit more like it. He's definitely got to be fully built up now. Like, he's definitely got to be fully built up now. So we are looking at 487k defense, which, if we had transform, like, again, it's literally not possible on the 200% lead, but if we had transform, you're looking at like 500k defense at the start of turn, which is crazy. Which is crazy. It looks like we're going to get the Dokkan attack with them as well. We're on 10 mil. With the transforming cooler's support and him being fully built up, we're on 10 mil. Like, at the bottom of the screen, we're on 10 mil. We were on 10 mil. But 7.5 mil right now. As I said, I want to have that. I want to have that double support just to use it. I want to have the double support as like one of the final rotations, just to see where we're pushing it with 2 sets of support, just to see where he gets to. With the fact we also have a 40% chance to crit right now because Vegeta's a pure Saiyan enemy and a super class enemy. This is going to do 10 million crit. I was going to say that's going to do a hell of a lot of damage, and that's exactly what that did. But yeah, man, Meta Cooler at level 10 links is very good. I mean, the important part is, and I always say this because extreme units, it just helps them out so much, is at level 10 you have Big Bad Boss is active at all times because you don't have that HP restriction. If anything, yes, he is performing very well at, level 10 links. Is he getting a whole lot extra on attack from level 10 links? No. Big Bad Bosses is still giving the same. The difference is, as I said, that's why it's so crucial, is you don't have to lose any HP. You just have it active immediately. And considering he needs to build up his passive, that helps out a lot. Strongest Clan in space is only given, it's not given anything to him. Thirst for Conquest is still attack plus 15% at level 1. But you also get 15% defense with it as well. So defensively, he's actually got a bit better from being at level 10 links. His attack only a tiny bit, because we're getting the extra 5% from Fierce Battle being a level 10, and then Nightmare, if we end up having it active, goes from 10% to 15% at level 10. So offensively, he hasn't really improved hardly whatsoever. But as I said, when it comes to extreme units, you always want them to be level 10 links, so you can have Big Bad Bosses active at all times. But we got the double support. We're 878 pre-super, 545k defense. We're going to raise our attack by 30% on super, which means his attack stat is going to jump up. Come on, Dokkan. I've got 2 dupes of him. Give me an additional. Let him raise his attack by 30% twice. So yeah, the main thing he's getting from being level 10 links is getting extra defense. As I said, First for Conquest is giving him attack and defense plus 15%, rather than just attack plus 15%. Big bad bosses we already had, 9.2. Jesus Christ, 9.2, and this is going to crit as well. Yeah, big bad bosses, importantly, is active at all times rather than having to lose any health. I thought we were going to get an additional. Told me a dream. So if we did get an additional, we're talking like 10 million attack stat. We're talking 10 million attack stat with a crit there. And then, yeah, we're only getting like an extra 5% attack typically because you're not really going to have Nightmare active, but we're getting an extra 5% attack from Fierce Battle. It's the extra defense which is actually helping him out quite a bit more. Like, we're almost at 500k, which at the start of turn is literally tanking the majority of red zone bosses for double digits. So, I mean, at level 10 links, he's really good. I mean, he's really good. Does it make much of an impact as some other units? No, but defensively, actually, yes. Offensively, not so much. Defensively, a bit. As I said, having big bad bosses active at all times, especially while he needs to build up his passive, is very handy. That's for Conquest, given 15% defense along with attack now as well. Again, kind of helps him, you know, need to build up his passive, give him some extra defense. When he's fully built up, he's literally just under 500k defense, which, as I said, tanking any red zone boss on basics, he's going to be tanking pretty much double digits for the majority of them, which is very good. Considering the majority of units in the game will probably die from a red zone boss super, but they're still viable in red zone. Metacooler is definitely one of them because of how much damage he can do, how good defensively he is, and can be once he's fully built up. You just don't want him to catch a super, which, to be fair, as I said, that's kind of the case for the majority of units in the game. But yeah, it does mean he'll probably get insta-killed by a super attack. But basics, he will handle really, really well. But even at level 10 links, he's still very, very good. I think defensively, it helps him out quite a lot. Quite a lot. But do let me think down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace!